Hi there, welcome to episode 163 of the WaveBack Music Podcast. My name is Kris.
And I'm Matt.
And we're here to listen to the most interesting video game music there is. Nintendo and Tetris have a long and storied history together. Different versions of the game have released on every Nintendo platform ever, but the version made for the Nintendo DS was actually Nintendo-themed. It also happens to be one of the most comprehensive Tetris packages ever made, complete with a stellar Nintendo-inspired soundtrack. Tap those blocks, because today we listen to the music of Tetris DS for the Nintendo DS. Well, hi there, Matt.
Hello, Kris.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you know, I'm over here living the dream. Excited about some Tetris DS as a fun follow-up to our Pictobits episode. What was it, 2 months ago, I guess? Right? Because Xenoblades was after it? Yeah, sure. Xenogears. Yeah, there it is.
I gotta be honest with you, I stopped paying attention to time, as it is a construct of man that I cannot adhere to.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to get right to work here. We have a lot to cover, so let's do this thing, huh?
Great, I can't wait.
All right, Matt.
Yes.
Hit us with some history.
Sorry. This allergy medicine's made me loopy. All right. Tetris DS was released in March 2006 for the Nintendo DS in North America, and 1 month later in the rest of the world. Where most Tetris games before this featured their own unique sense of style, this game was made to pay homage to Nintendo's lineup of NES games, including Super Mario Bros., Excitebike, The Legend of Zelda, and yes, even Tetris. In addition to the standard endless mode that players had come to know and love over the years, Tetris DS introduced a number of new modes. Push was a competitive mode where two players play on opposite sides of the same well. Catch saw players try to make squares instead of lines by collecting pieces. Puzzle tasked players with using a specific number of unique blocks to clear the screen. Mission presented players with a series of tasks to accomplish during an endless run, and Touch utilized the touchscreen to slide blocks around with the stylus. It was a remarkably well-rounded package that featured some of the smoothest Tetris mechanics ever seen, and a fun retro-inspired visual design. It's commonly referred to as one of the best versions of Tetris ever made.
The music in Tetris DS was done by Minako Hamano and Akira Fujiwara. It mostly consists of dance remixes of existing Nintendo tunes, with a couple of menu themes thrown in for good measure. Minako Hamano's other works include Mario Kart Super Circuit, Wario World, and Metroid Fusion. Akira Fujiwara's other works include Super Princess Peach, Master of Illusion, and Metroid Fusion as well. So Matt, what is your personal history with this game? Why did you choose it?
Oh man, I didn't have a ton of games for my Nintendo DS, but this was the one that I had to have. I feel like whenever Nintendo releases a system or something and they put out a Tetris for it, I have to have it. I'm a big Tetris fan, like very big. And this game was, it was constantly in my DS and I was constantly playing it. At some point, I had a friend who had it as well, and, you know, you get to chatting and you're like, well, you know, I'm a DS freak, and she's like, yeah, so am I, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm really good at it. And she's like, well, so am I. And I'm like, all right, it's time to put your money where your mouth is. And so I had quite a few like battles with this person, which was really some of the best parts of the Tetris DS.
Oh, the competitive modes were so good.
Yeah. So I mean, I play this thing back to front, up and down. I loved all the extra modes that I talked about in the history wrap up. It was
not a
just
bad
so
mode in the game.
No, it was just so innovative. I mean, I think this is going a little left for a moment, but I promise I'll bring it all back. I was a big fan of Tetris Sphere because it was something different and something new, and I got really obsessed with it. I tend to get like obsessed with games. I would close my eyes and see it, that sort of thing. So I love Tetris base, right? Just the base game is just fun. It's iconic. It's classic. But I love the other iterations of the game. So then, now bringing it back around, to have all these extra modes and these different kind of ways to play Tetris was just super fun and super cool. So, yeah, man, I played the hell out of this game. I still have it, actually. My DS still works, and then I just realized it still works. I should probably go grab it and play it. It's probably gonna make me go grab it and play it this episode, but yeah.
We've actually been playing it around here ourselves quite a bit. My daughter likes this one a lot. The touch puzzles in particular. Yeah, my history with this is similar. I'm also a massive Tetris fan. So naturally, when they made an classic NES themed Tetris game, I was like, yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll buy two.
And I did. I bought one for Karen.
Aww.
No, so we could play together. Yeah, the competitive modes. I loved the push mode. I thought was just so incredibly cool. I used to play this a lot at the Game Crazy that I worked in. And when this came out, they had a tournament at the Nintendo World Store in New York City, and I came in second place.
Get out of here!
Yeah, I'm pretty good at Tetris. And I squarely whooped everyone that I was playing against, but then it was me against the other guy who had beaten everybody, who was this very friendly Asian guy who went by the name of Tetris Guy, and he destroyed me. Absolutely, handily annihilated me, and was very nice about it. And
was it even like was it a one-sided fight, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, I put up a little bit of a fight, but this guy was just completely different level. Like I'm pretty good at Tetris, but then you see the pro players and you're like, oh yeah, I'm better than average, but I'm not this guy.
Right. That's how I felt when I played Tetris 99, which again is another great iteration of the game. I thought, I'm really good at Tetris, and then my first game I was like, oh, maybe I'm not as good as I think. But
I love Tetris 99. I still play that pretty regularly too. At least once a month I jump on and try to get a total victory. I think I've won 4 times total since it came out. But I usually wind up finishing. I get kind of upset with myself if I don't finish in the top 10 or at least top 20. Tetris 99 match. But what a brilliant game that is too. But that's not what we're here for.
Yeah, right.
We're here for Tetris DS. We've got some cool music to listen to, so let's get to it.
Yes, sir.
The first song we're going to listen to is the main theme for most of the regular single player mode, which is Mario Tetris. It's a super fun, dancey version of the Mario theme, and I think you're going to like it. Enjoy. that was Mario Tetris. Matt, how does that one make you feel?
Like dancing. It's such a fun. I mean, like, first of all, the original Mario soundtrack's so freaking iconic, right?
Of course.
And it's been so done, which is to say, there's been so many remixes and so many reimaginings and interpolations and stuff. So you think, you know, how much more can we do with this? Well, you know, granted, this game was, what did I say? 90, no. I've lost our notes. 2006, right? So, it's still, you know, in that time period where we haven't heard all the iterations yet, but now here we are listening to it, you know, some 16, 17 years later, and we've heard a bunch of iterations, right? But I think, to some extent, I think the reimagining here, the interpolation of it here is just a lot of fun, if not a lot more fun than some of the stuff that's come after it. It's just like, to me, it's the right style of music for a Tetris game, because Tetris, if you're not familiar, starts off nice and easy, and it can get real intense real quick. And I think that, you know, pulled apart from the game, the music is very, like, upbeat and kind of got a pacing to it that's fast. But when you pair it with a Tetris game, and, you know, things start to speed up and whatnot, it's very in league, and it's very appropriate is the word I'm looking for. So, but a lot of fun. The music's a lot of fun. Like, kind of, they do these little call and responses in there that I thought were nifty early on, and, you know, they just really have fun with it. So.
Yeah, I heartily agree with it. It's just being really fun. It does a good job of punctuating different parts, you know, like different scenes of the pieces of the music in really interesting and fun ways. It is a fascinating bit of music, and this is kind of perpetually on my like exercise playlists.
That's
if
a good
I ever
one.
Need music to like kind of keep me moving. This is definitely one of the ones that I come back to a lot. It's just one of my favorites, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's like it loops a bunch of times, and I was like, oh, we got stuff to do. I should probably cut this off, but
yeah,
I'm dead now. Just keep on rocking, keep on riding. I like it.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, right? It's pretty straightforward, but definitely not in a bad way.
No. I mean, like, straight, like, there's no mincing words about this one. It's like, yep, it's Mario. Yep, it's great. Yep.
A very fun take on a song we all know.
Yep.
All right, well, then I guess it's time to move on to Balloon Trip. Now, this one is actually barely altered from its original form, and that's not really a bad thing. This is the Balloon Trip tune from Hirokazu Hip Tanaka from Balloon Fight, and this is the music you listen to when you're playing Touch Tetris, which is one of my favorite modes in the game. And, well, it's just a glorious song, so enjoy. That was Balloon Trip from Tetris DS and Balloon Fight. I do like the subtle changes that they added to it, like little parts where the drums drop out and kind of like take the melody down a little bit and simplify it a tad just to kind of add a little bit of layering to it. But boy, this song just brings me back so much to that playing that mode. It's like I can just hear all the different sound effects and like when you get one or a couple of lines in a row and it does a little happy jingle and wonderful.
I love the bass line so much. It makes me want to like pick up my bass and try and figure it out. It's just so like subtle and groovy. Doom, 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 doom. You know, like what? It's just so cool. I don't know, but yeah, little subtle changes in the arrangements and stuff is definitely just a lot of fun. And on a what do you call it? On an inverse side to what I was saying before, right? This song is a more chiller version of like music to play during something that is a Tetris game. You know, because like the regular Tetris itself is a very intense kind of play, and you know, like I said, it ramps up and it gets bigger and crazier and harder and faster and so on and so forth. But this is a little more chill and it's, but that to me is a testament to the level of things you can do with Tetris, right? And then you have this NES themed game, and it's just perfect. It's a level of perfection not seen in a lot of places.
Word. All right, well, with that in mind, it is time for our next track, which is called Total Yoshi. And I love this one too because it's a really cool. It's hard. They didn't really change this song that much, other than adding a funky drum beat to it, and it takes it to a whole different level. It's originally from Yoshi's Cookie, which is a puzzle game I rather liked on NES, and I don't go back to that often, but I did enjoy that game. And this is for the puzzle mode here in Tetris DS, where it's like you have three blocks, and you have to use only those 3 blocks to clear this stage, kind of a thing. I love that mode so much. So here's Total Yoshi, a really awesome tune. Enjoy. right, that was Total Yoshi. I freaking love that song.
It's so pleasant. There's like a little line, a melody line in there that makes me remember or makes me think of You Are My Sunshine, which is like one of the greatest songs ever written, just period. Like, I don't care what you say. I'll fight you. So I mean, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. I will fight you. No, but that line in there is just so sweet, and it's a sweet little track. And yeah, it's impressive what a change in drum pattern will do for a whole song. It'll change the entire feel of it. You know, it could change the entire genre of it. So it's a brilliant choice. Yeah,
I'm always happy when somewhat more obscure games get called callbacks, and Yoshi's Cookie is definitely not the most popular game in the world, so I thought it was really cool that there was a whole mode that was visually designed around Yoshi's Cookie of all games, and that they just took that music and made it so much more fun to listen to. Not that it wasn't fun to listen to begin with. I already liked that song, right. But I definitely prefer this movie. It's fantastic. Song. Why did I say movie?
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to call you out.
Definitely prefer this song.
I mean, you do a podcast about video game music. There's certainly something wrong with your brain. But I do it with you, and I could have said no all those years ago, so there's something certainly wrong with my brain, too.
Well, on that note, let us move on to the next track, which is called Zelda Tetris. And you guessed it, it's Zelda music, done in the same style as what we've been listening to so far. So this is part of the mission mode, where you're just playing Tetris, and your pieces come up randomly, and you do exactly what you would do in a one-player game of Tetris, except they'll say you have to make 2 lines with this Z-shaped block or something like that, and that's the only way to actually progress in the game, is to keep doing these individual missions that pop up. It's a really clever version, way to play the game. So, and this is a great rendition of the Zelda theme. So enjoy Zelda Tetris. There you go, Zelda Tetris. Not an overly complicated thing. They just kind of took the Zelda theme and added a cool drum beat to it. A few alterations of like intensity, I suppose, with like, you know, the bass line dropping out instead of the newer bass line they added kind of dropping out. But all in all, it's a pretty straightforward and very entertaining rendition of the Zelda theme.
Oh, it's just so much fun. It's almost like when they do mashups of songs going disco. This is like the Zelda theme, a little disco-y, which is just it's ridiculous enough for me to absolutely adore it.
Yeah, good times. Reminds me of playing the game, which you would imagine would be the case. So, sticking with Zelda, once you got a little farther into this mode, you would occasionally get to a harder flavor, also in the single player mode, just the regular marathon mode. You would eventually get to this stage as well as the Death Mountain theme, all done up in this style. It's quick, because the Death Mountain theme, as you know, is not all that complicated, although the Pictobits version certainly got there, which was amazing. Wow. This ain't that, but it's still pretty darn good. Here's Death Mountain from Tetris DS. Death Mountain, that's not stressful at all.
No, not in the least bit.
Everything's going so fast, you're just like, make it stop. And then it stops, and you just go, oh, okay, I can breathe for a second.
Yeah. Breathing's overrated anyway.
Yeah, again, not a ton to say here, just
no,
it's just solid stuff.
Yeah, these are just I talk about all the time how much I love mashups and remixes and stuff, and these are just really good renditions, a lot of fun renditions, and a lot of it brings back the memories of kind of playing until 1, 2, 3 in the morning, like in bed. Like, I'll just play it one more time, and then I gotta go to bed. And 4 hours later, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Didn't know. I for some reason I thought you were gonna keep talking.
Nah.
Yeah. No, that sums that up pretty well. All right. Let's keep trucking. Let's keep trucking,
yes, sir.
Shall we?
Yes, sir.
This next one comes from the catch mode. So there was a game for Game Boy Color that was this exact game. And it was called, I can't remember. It was this exact game though. So when I played this one in Tetris DS, I was like, hey, I know this game. I played this game. This is great. You control like this, I don't know, Katamari in the middle of the stage, and every block that comes down that you touch sticks to it, and you want to try to make these like geometric shapes of like solid squares that then make it disappear, and the whole thing's Metroid themed. Which is pretty lovely. So this is Metroid Charge, which is a great rendition of the Brinstar theme. Enjoy. That was Metroid Charge. How'd that one make you feel?
Like I want to play more Metroid.
Always.
Yeah, there's never enough Metroid. There's so much love for the Metroid games and soundtracks on this show that it kind of goes without saying how we both probably feel about that, but I am a large fan.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of Metroid and a very big fan of this rendition of the song. It's this is such an interesting song to begin with, the Brinstar theme, because it has there's a lot of different flavors that this song can kind of go in, because the original one is so I don't know, if it's not simplistic, it's stripped down. There's not much in the way of like extra stuff going on in that one. So if you add like just a simple drum beat to it, you can add that drum beat going in a couple of different directions to give the song a very different kind of feel. So this particular flavor of it kind of reminds me a little bit of the version of it from Metroid Zero Mission, where they added the kind of like chorus to the background. Except this is kind of innately a little bit more silly because it's matching the instrumentation of this silly Tetris game. So like the bass line is really, and it's like kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's still very calming because this is a less frantic mode of Tetris. So like as it goes down, as you're listening to this version of the song, it really kind of suits the gameplay. And then once it gets less calming, the music speeds up considerably, and it's like, yeah, stress. But that's that stress is part of Tetris.
Yeah, that's yeah, it is, man. Yeah, it is. No, but you're absolutely right. This goes back to what we were talking about before with the balloon fight. Just a little bit of drum pattern. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, not the balloon fight. The Yoshi's Cookie.
Right.
Just changing the drum pattern really just changes the feel. It's impressive what something as simple as that can really do to a piece of music, and like, so to speak, breathe a new life into it. It's fun, and again, that's another reason why, if I haven't made it clear at this point, why I love this soundtrack, is because you get a little bit of a different take on the absolute, classics that most of us grew up on. So, a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, next up we have Mario 3 Tetris, which, surprise, is Mario 3 music from Tetris DS style. This one actually changes up the original one quite a bit. This is like a really kind of slow reggae song in the original game, and this is very much not that. So, but you'll probably recognize the tune if you've ever played Mario 3. So here is Mario 3 Tetris. Enjoy. Well, there's your Mario 3 Tetris.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I feel like if you were going to danceify a song from Mario 3, you would do the athletic theme. And they've done that in a bunch of other games before.
Yeah.
And the way they took this one and changed it up was like, yeah, all right, good job. I would not have picked this one, but you did, and you made it work. Well done.
Yeah, I love I mean, I love such a good, like, techno beat. It's just so much fun. But what I appreciate is they took that part where it's dun, 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 and they just boiled it down to like 3 notes. I'd have to go back again to hear it to point it out, but it's just great. It's such a great, like, little interpolation of that piece, right? Because that's my favorite part of the original Mario 3. And then it has like those like bongos in the background. It's great, but then putting this beat on top of it really changes the dynamic of that drastically. So to have the wherewithal to say like, oh, let's why don't we do this? Oh, it's freaking great. It is in fact freaking great. So.
It is indeed.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan of this one.
Alright, next up we have DK Tetris, and this one kind of breaks my heart because I couldn't find a version of this song that incorporates all of the versions of this song. So when you're playing Donkey Kong Push Tetris, depending on your perspective, the music changes a lot. It gets like more intense, less intense. This is kind of like the really boiled down version that plays when you're just going through the regular marathon mode, which is still great, but you seriously have to try this game to experience the actual version of this song and how crazy it can get. But for the purposes of this show and my inability to find something better, here is DK Tetris from Tetris DS. So yeah, I mean, it's such a small part of what this song can actually turn into, but it's still, I always think it's really neat when they take this extremely simple ditties that come out of those the older games.
Sorry.
And turn them into something. No, never apologize. Never apologize for that. But turn them into something more. Like I always think that's super fun. And this is nice. It's nice. I had to put something in there because the Donkey Kong music in this game is really cool. But seriously, go play the game and find somebody to play Push Tetris against, because the fact that that is not like something that I can play online right now is insane to me. Like,
seriously.
If Tetris 99 can work, really just port this game as is to Switch and get all these fun multiplayer modes online. Especially Push Tetris is such a good multiplayer Tetris.
Push Tetris was the one that I would play all the time with my friend. We would just go hours just clobbering each other. And, you got lucky. And,
so much strategy in it, you know, where it's like, if I put a block here, then they can start use. Because I don't know if I'm explaining this well to anyone or our listeners that hasn't played this yet. You're both playing in the same Tetris well, but there's no floor in the well. It's just you're on one end and your gravity goes one way, and they're on the bottom of it, but their gravity is going, so it's like that's their top. So you're playing on the bottom, like underneath, like the mirror image of their stage, basically, but it's the same stage. So when you're playing against somebody, the only way to push them, right? Because like you're trying to push this line across the top, like you're trying to push the bottom of their well up, so to end their Tetris game. But the only way to push that is to create lines. But the only way to create lines is to create an environment where you can create a line. And as soon as you do that, you also create an opportunity for them to create lines. Like once you've built a floor, then boom, they can come right back at you. It's such a brilliant multiplayer game.
Oh, absolutely. Again, countless hours.
All right, we got a few left here, including Tetris Climber. This is Ice Climber, but Tetris. So, yeah.
I wanted to make a joke like, this game's so lazy, they just took other games and slapped Tetris on the end of it.
But it was done so lovely.
I know.
All right, here's Tetris Climber. Enjoy. there you go. Tetris Climber. This one isn't actually assigned to a specific stage. It's just one of the... As you play the regular marathon mode, every, like, 20 lines or so, it just changes what game the level is themed after. Ice Climber is one of them. I don't know. How you feel about that one?
It's one of the more simpler ones. And for me, sometimes those fade into the background and become just background music. Separate from the game, however, it's it's a very simple piece of music, not a whole lot going on. And sometimes I think that's okay because it allows for other things to happen. Tetris is a game where, as you progress in levels, like I said, it gets faster and more intense. So then, if you get deeper into it and more intense music comes along, I think you secretly pray for music like this to kind of give you some inner peace to slow down and play the game, but that's not how Tetris works, so...
No, it is not.
Yeah, so I dig this little piece of music, though.
Yeah, I've never been like the biggest fan of the Ice Climber theme, but it's still pretty nice, and this is it's a good rendition of it.
Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of little fun.
Following that up, as you're playing, there are a bunch of stages that it goes through where it changes the stage and you get individual music, but then it starts going through this marathon mode, like where every 10 lines, I think, it swaps to yet another game, and they don't have unique music. They have this song, which is called Rushed Tetris, and as you're blasting through like a bunch of different games until it eventually culminates in what our final track will be. But this one here is a good time, and it's nice and stressful, so here is Rushed Tetris. Enjoy. There is Rushed Tetris.
I instantly had anxiety.
Yeah, right?
I very much remember this.
Yeah.
Very much so. Like the hairs on the back of my neck stood up like, oh God, go. Oh, man.
Yeah, this they did a really good job of making this song feel frantic as heck.
Yeah.
It is a good time, but like, I don't know, seriously, as much as I have, like, I don't really have a ton to say about this one. I just love the way it ultimately culminates in the next one, because so you're going through the marathon mode and you're hitting up all kinds. So you're hitting Urban Champion, you're hitting Excite Bike, you're hitting Devil World, you're hitting all these first party Nintendo things, right? What else did Nintendo release first party on NES and Game Boy? They released Tetris. So the last one, in just a wonderful piece of, I don't know, Inception, you have a Tetris-themed Tetris level.
Which, by the way, they should have called Tetris, but it's called something different.
It's called Ancient Tetris, yes, which I also think is pretty funny. Here is Ancient Tetris, and just imagine you're rushing through Rushed Tetris, and then all of a sudden you get to... Finally, the scene changes and you get this wonderful song. Enjoy.
Oh man.
Yep. It's so fast. It's not a relief at all. It's
No!
like you get to that point, and it's like, oh, this is somehow even more stressful.
But, okay. So, this is the first time I've really heard this song not played, with the game, right? And I gotta say, it's absolutely beautiful, because they added kind of a choir of people, vocalizing along with it. And it creates such a beautiful texture for what I feel is one of the best video game songs. Or I should say, one of the best songs written that got turned into a video game theme.
Because it wasn't written for.
Correct. It was stolen.
It was adapted.
Yeah, okay. I like adapted.
It was, I believe it was effectively a public domain song at that point, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. You'd have to go back to the episode we did with the creators. Because I brought over the one done by floppy disks.
Yeah. The good old Flopotron.
Yeah.
But what's wild is that, that was the Game Boy one, and then over on the NES version, they didn't use this song. They used
I know, disappointing.
It's from the Nutcracker, and I don't know what the song is called. It's John and but it's not Dance the Sugar Plum Fairies. But regardless, they used a song from the Nutcracker instead of this one, just a different classical tune. But of course, as popular as the NES version was, which it was extremely popular, had nothing on the Game Boy one.
No.
The Game Boy one was everywhere. So that just that's the default Tetris theme.
Yeah. I don't care which way you cut it. But anyway, that song is so much fun. And then there's this little thing, and maybe it's just me, I don't know. There's a little tambourine in there that I was really trying so hard to follow the beat. And that's an insane, da 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 da. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, it's great. It's well, it's a great way to end this episode for the most part. It's obviously we'll play out with a tune, but that's Tetris DS for you. That's just about the whole soundtrack.
More or less. I don't think there's too many others we missed.
Yeah, I don't think I skipped much. Just go play this game. This is a great game.
If you have the opportunity to, absolutely, especially if you're a Tetris fan and you haven't, you owe yourself the simple joys of Tetris DS.
Yeah, if you have a DS or a 3DS, this game works fine in both of them, and it's seriously one of the best versions of Tetris I've ever played. It's one of the most complete packages with so many different modes, and I consistently go back to it and have for over a decade. I always go back to it. It's a great game. What was this?
2006.
2006. Going on 20 years now.
Right? I was going to say, for a better part of almost 2 decades. I'm with you. I've definitely gone back and charged up my DS again and played it for a while, put it down. It's absolutely my favorite iteration of Tetris.
It's same here. It's my favorite version of Tetris. And just the general feel of it, the whole infinite spin thing that you can do, because I like the challenge of Tetris. I like but I also like it as something a bit more relaxing. And while this game can get very intense and does have plenty of challenge in it, it does have a lot of modern things like the hold block. You can do that, and they introduce this infinite spin trick that you can do. And once your block reaches the bottom, as long as you keep tapping the button to spin it, it won't land. So you have more time to think about it, sort of, as long as you can continue to tap that button fast enough to make it not land, and also try and shove it into the place that you're trying to get it into. It does involve a bit of challenge, but it does give you a little bit more leeway to think. It's really just one of the tightest controlling, most brilliant versions of Tetris that's ever been made. So,
yep, absolutely.
That's all I've got. There you go. That's our show. Join us next time when we are going to be listening to one of my son's favorite games of all time, and also one of my favorites on the Switch. It's a game called Just Shapes and Beats, and it is. We had to skip it the year that it came out for the WaveBack Awards because the vast majority of its music was not written for the game. That said, it is an amazing soundtrack and one of the most unexpectedly moving games I've ever played. The game's a masterpiece. The music's amazing. I cannot wait. So yeah, look forward to it. We here at the WaveBack Podcast are incredibly grateful to everyone who listens, and we love communicating with you when we can. We have a couple of ways you can do that. There's the Geekade Discord channel, in which we have a WaveBack chat where we frequently discuss all manner of stuff related to video game music and whatever our next episodes are going to be. And of course, you can still send us an email at mail@geekade.com. While you're at it, check out all our other social media channels, which you should totally follow, like, and subscribe to if you haven't already. WaveBack and other Geekade podcasts are made possible thanks to the Geekade Patreon page. There, patrons can get access to a monthly podcast topic and recording schedule, get early access to most of Geekade's shows, including this one and more, and if you've enjoyed our podcasts over the years, follow the link in the description and give it a look. We greatly appreciate it. And finally, as always, be sure to check out all the other great content we have on our site over at geekade.com. We're going to leave you tonight with the credits theme from Tetris DS. Sort of. It's not really the credits theme. It's in Game Boy Tetris, when you got 10,000 points or something, it played this wonderful little song while you entered your name. And this has, well, this is that. This is the fancy Tetris DS version of that really wonderful, charming song. And I thought it was a perfect way to end the episode. So, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. Any final words before we move on?
I don't have any. I think I left it all out on the floor.
Fair enough. All right, then. Enjoy your 10,000 Tetris points. And we'll see you next time.